And welcome back, everybody, to Movies and Beyond. Uh, this is our daily movie news show. I'm Callum. That's Kyle. He is here today, but he's ill again because he's got the immune system of a dead grandma. Kyle, how we doing?
Not gonna lie, I've been better. I thought I had all my illness gone, but now I have a massive red eye. It's infected. So that's fun, and I'm seeing The Flash tomorrow with you, so that's even more fun. But other than
Yes.
that, yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
Yes, seeing the Flash will indeed be fun. But yeah, I was this morning while I've been at work. I've been praying. I've been like, God, slow news day, slow news day. I only really had one thing, and then Kyle, I get home. To my horror, to my horror, there's a load of Marvel delays. So many Marvel delays. Like I'm talking like not a couple of months shifted, like years. But it is one good thing out of it. So let's get into it. As revealed by THR, Phase 5 and 6 are getting a big shake up in their release schedule. Captain America Brave New World was originally slated for May 3rd, 2024, but will open in theatres on July 24th in 2024. Thunderbolts, which was slated for July 26th, 2024, will now instead open on December 20th, 2024. Uh, the Phase 6 projects that have been affected Fantastic Four, which is moving from February 14th, 2025 to May 2nd, 2025. Blade, which was pushed from September 6th, 2024 to February 14th, 2025 now. And the two Avengers movies, this is the big one here, have been pushed back. Avengers Kang Dynasty has given up its spot to Fantastic Four while getting delayed to May 1st of 2026. So that's a year both Avengers films have been pushed because Secret Wars will also come out on May 7th, 2027. But the good news is Deadpool has moved from November 8th, 2024, and it now has Captain America's release date of May 3rd, 2024. So Deadpool 3 has moved up 6 months, so we're getting that sooner. But all these, projects getting pushed, and in the long run, I think it's a good thing. But I want to hear what you think about this. What do you think it could be for?
That's interesting. That's a lot moving about. Um,
Like I said, if you need any
to be,
dates or all, just ask and I'll get them for you.
um, well. Maybe it's just a bit of quality control. I know Kevin Feige said a couple of months ago that he's delayed a couple of the I think he delayed a couple of the shows if I'm not wrong. Um, just obviously he made a statement. He didn't say it was for quality control, but he kind of did. He said I'm pretty sure he said we want to make sure we're bringing out the best and releasing the best quality and something along the lines of that. So if it's for that, fine. I can wait longer for this if it's just going to give me something that's better. Because I'm not getting sick of Marvel per se or anything like that. I'm far from it. I know there's a lot of people, and they've been saying it for years and years now, about like superhero fatigue. It's not really a thing. To
No,
be
look at
honest with you.
Guardians and Spider Man that have just come out.
Exactly.
It's quality fatigue that people had.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's just with obviously She-Hulk. I liked it. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't. It wasn't on the level of say Daredevil. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, we can't expect every Marvel show to be as good as Daredevil. I want that quality, and I felt like wasn't getting that. With with that being said, we did get Miss Marvel, Loki, um, and obviously the first one we got was WandaVision, which I thought were all top tier, really, really good. It was just, Hawkeye, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It wasn't bad. It just didn't, it lacked the the thing that made it like, oh, it's really good. It's like, I really recommend watching it. It just felt a little bit like it didn't do anything, and it was, yeah, the quality just wasn't there for me, I don't think.
Yeah. Um. Also, do you think this might have something to do with, what's going on with Jonathan Majors? Gives him a bit more time to, you know, get past, not get past it, but definitely know for sure what's going on with him, so they can plan accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, it probably has something to do with that, to be honest. I don't think they're going to push back their entire slate for that. If need be, they're going to have to move on and, get another actor in, or, they're not cancelling the plans. They're definitely not doing that. So we'll just have to see what happens with obviously Jonathan Majors. We're still
Yeah.
waiting. We're still waiting and waiting and waiting. It's a long, long wait.
Yeah.
Hopefully this gets resolved soon, sooner than later.
Yeah. This is definitely to do with, like, when we was talking about, yesterday. Apparently they're doing a World War Hulk film, and we was like, "Are Marvel supposed to be slowing down?" This is definitely to do with them. They're slowing down a bit, which is great. You know, don't get me wrong. I don't mind getting 3 MCU films a year, but as long as one of them's like a Sony made one, so the burden isn't entirely on Marvel Studios. So let's go back to 2 films a year, 2 or 3 films a year. Um, Definitely to do with quality control. Definitely to do with, let's see what happens with Majors, and another big part as well is the writer's strike. I think the writer's strike is the biggest factor that's playing into all of this. Um, Also, we've lost. There was 2 films slated before Kang Dynasty. Films we didn't know, untitled Marvel films. They're off the slate now, completely. Um, so yeah, that this is them really slowing down and taking it back to the roots and go, look, we used to make 2 really good films a year. So if they can now, let's say, obviously they want to do more as a studio, but if they can put out 1 or 2 really good shows a year and 2 really good films a year, that's definitely going to, bode better for them. Because people are saying Disney Plus is ruining Marvel. I really like the getting home and watching the shows and, week to week. It's a big part of our lives now. But yeah, the thing that's hitting me the most is, we've gone from these Avengers films are less than 2 years away to now it's, they're about 3 years away. So that wait is there again. But we said this about when we was talking about Spider-Verse. It was supposed to come out the year before. They made us wait. Not every time, but most times. It's not like they're delaying it after they've shot it and they're doing rewrites. They're getting it right the first time, which is a great sign. Another thing, Kyle. Are you excited to be getting Deadpool another 6 months early?
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
fucking love Deadpool. The only thing with that is again, it's the writer strike thing. As you just mentioned, that's the only thing that I think is going to be a massive hindrance to everything. Obviously, with that, it came out a couple of weeks ago, fairly recently. Ryan Reynolds couldn't make up stuff on the spot, like sort of improvise on the spot, and that's one of that's one of his great strengths, and that's why we love him as Deadpool. Um, he can just make up things on the spot. But here's the thing, though, with that being said, if you look at the previous Deadpool movies that they've done, when he's wearing the mask, you
Yeah,
can
I
dub
was just
him.
about
You
to
can,
say ADR,
yeah,
go back over it, and so
exactly,
this
yeah.
is really that big of an issue because they was adding jokes to Deadpool one week before the film came out to make jokes more topical for stuff that had happened that week.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah, so I think with that, with it coming sooner, I have no worries. I'm very excited. I can't wait, and yeah, it's a nice
yeah,
surprise. It's a bittersweet surprise, I guess.
actually bodes a lot of confidence in Deadpool 3 that it's going to be Deadpool 3 is going to be in the summer movie spot of the year. Everybody knows May back end of April, beginning of May. That's where they put their biggest film, Marvel. So the fact that they're putting Deadpool 3 there, that's a really great sign. And then we don't have to wait too long for Captain America. You know, that's gone from 11 months away to it's only been pushed by about 2 months. That's not that big of a deal. Thunderbolts though, being pushed to December, from July to December, we'll have a nice Christmas film there, I suppose. I like going to cinema around Christmas, and it gives a nice break between the films as well. Also, they've put Fantastic Four in that spot, the spot of the main movie spot again, May. So that shows a lot of confidence in Fantastic Four as well. I'm assuming they're expecting that to be pretty big. But I'm pretty sure when the Avengers films were first announced, both of them were supposed to be coming out in 2025. We was going to get Kang Dynasty in May, and then we was going to get Secret Wars in November. That's scrapped now, because the big thing was, do you remember the theory a couple years ago now, was the next Avengers films, they're going to do 3 of them. One's going to come out at the beginning of the year, one's going to come out in the middle of the year, and one's going to come out at the end of the year. Now, that's clearly a bit too ambitious, and I think they know their limits now. They know what they can achieve, so they're just reeling it back in, and this gets me very excited for the Marvel slate. Yeah, I'm gutted I'm going to have to wait, but also, we're going to get a better product. You know, I think this has a lot to do with Bob Iger coming back, Kevin Feige getting more hands-on again. So, yeah, overall, we're going to get a better product. So, yeah. And Kyle, I want to add something as well.
Mm-hmm.
By the time Avengers Secret Wars come out, we will both be 28 years old.
Woo.
Yep. That's
Yeah,
a feeling
I
old.
mean, I feel old already. I remember we used to watch the Age of Ultron trailer. Used to come to mine after school. We used to watch that.
Yeah.
So excited for that film, and then we'd go see it. I really liked it. I had fun with it. Just, yeah. And now, you know, how many years has it been since Endgame?
5.
Is that... Yeah, I feel old. Holy shit, I
because
feel
all the memes
old.
are at all the memes happened at the beginning of May of we're actually in the year where the Avengers saved the reality, and it says the funny thing that people got right is when Endgame came out, they were slating it. It was like people won't still be playing Fortnite in 2023. People still are. I don't play it. I don't play it. But yeah. So what are you most looking forward to then on the slate, Kyle? You know, we've got Blade, Captain America, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, Kang Dynasty, you know, Secret Wars, and Deadpool 3. What are you most looking forward to? Your top 3. Give us your top 3, because it's going to be hard to pick between some of them, because we're looking forward to all of them, obviously.
Okay. Ooh. Right. This might surprise you a little bit. So, can I include Daredevil in this?
That's a TV show.
Okay, so I can't include that.
You can't,
right, okay.
just out of the film slates.
Just all the films, okay.
Because for me, if we was including Daredevil would be 1, 2, and 3. So.
Yeah. For me it'd be Agatha 1, 2, and 3, but you know, we're doing movies. Okay, so Captain America. I'm really excited to see what they do with this movie and the whole Red Hulk stuff. That's really intriguing. And then, for the second one, I'd say it's gonna have to be the Marvels. Bit of a controversial one there.
Right.
Sorry, Deadpool's gonna be number one. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I'd say for number two, I put the Marvels. I don't know.
It's just Kamala Khan.
It's
She's great. It's
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
it's
Yeah,
watching a man in the role and her love for the character. You know, it's like watching Tom Hiddleston. When you see someone who loves the character play the character, it makes it a whole lot easier to like the character.
yeah, exactly.
You know.
I know a lot of people were slating off the trailer when that came out. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun trailer. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
this this
I
is gonna be fun. Do you know
I
what I
like
mean?
I like the trailer as well. And now, Kyle, because you've said that, we are going to be put on Marvel Simp Watch in a TikTok compilation of us saying the trailer. Fuck you. We don't care.
Uh,
If Kyle was here, he
at
would
least we
swear
don't
to.
play Fortnite.
Yeah. But yeah, my top three is definitely the film I'm looking forward to the most is they're getting a new writer now. Obviously, Justin Daniel Cretton is directing. The director of Shang-Chi is going to be doing Kang Dynasty. So Kang Dynasty is definitely number one. Number two is definitely Deadpool 3, and I'm a Cap man through and through. So Brave New World has got to be number three. So Kang Dynasty, Deadpool 3, and Cap 4. That's my top three out of this slate that I'm looking forward to. So you wanted to speak about Daredevil, Kyle. You know, we're going to stay on the topic of MCU delays and how this might affect it. The production has been shut down again on Daredevil Born Again because of the writer's strike. Not because the scripts aren't done, but because of the picket line. You know, they're there protesting where they're shooting, and it's been shut down until the end of the week again, production. So, do you see Daredevil Born Again making its, early 2024 release date?
Um, ooh. I'm gonna say I don't know. I will say I hope it will, but I mean, if it's gonna affect the quality of the show, then I hope it does get delayed. I know that's something we should wish for, but if the
Yeah,
writer's strike is really
yeah.
affecting this,
Now,
it,
but
it
it's
go on.
not affecting it in terms of, like, the scripts are done. It's just
Yeah,
people are protesting where they're shooting. So it's just, people getting in the way, and obviously people on the show who want to be, stand up for the writers. They're just saying, oh yeah, no, we're not crossing the picket line.
right.
Out of respect for the writers. I see this maybe at most getting pushed to, like, the middle of 2024. But quality wise, I don't think all will be affected. I've seen Vincent D'Onofrio talking about it earlier last week, and he was saying, that he thinks the scripts are great. Vincent D'Onofrio knows what he's talking about. He's a great actor. And I also saw Vincent D'Onofrio talk about Spider-Man 4, and he said about Tom Holland, he says, I'm coming for that little shit, so somewhat along
Oh,
them
nice.
lines.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, he says he don't know, but he says he wants to be in the film. But, yeah, I don't think it's going to delay it too much. Obviously, while they can't cross the picket line, other stuff can still be done. VFX shots can still be set up. They can do all the stuff like that. They can be working on what they've already got. So I don't think if it does get delayed, I don't think it'll be delayed too crazy. So yeah, but big day for delays, Kyle, because Avatar 3 and the next 3 Avatar films have also been delayed. So Avatar 3 was supposed to come out at the back end of next year. It's not now. It's coming out in December of 2025. Obviously, it didn't want to compete with Thunderbolts. Clearly, Disney didn't want. Well, Disney don't want to cannibalize their own films. Obviously, they like to space them out. But these films are just going to be so intensive to get the visual effects right. 2025 seems right to me for the next one. At least we don't have to wait as long for this one as we did from 1 to 2. But also, Avatar 4 will be coming out in December 2029. And then this is taking us all the way into 2031. So when we see Avatar 5, Kyle, We will be 32 years old. No, you will be 33.
Yeah, that's
In
yeah.
December of 2031. That is when Avatar 5 comes out. So same questions again. Do you think this is a good move from Disney? Obviously, I think this is somewhat to do with the writer's strike and another bit of not quality control per se, but let's get these films right. What's your thoughts on it?
Uh, so obviously with the thing is, if when they're making these type of films, obviously it's very heavy CGI. When they render things out, it takes a long time to render something out, and then they review it, they see if they like it, they don't like it. It can, I believe it can probably delay them quite a lot. Um, I've never been a fan of the people saying, "Oh, you're gonna get an Avatar film, at this time, this date, whenever." I never listen to any of that. I'm waiting. I don't really listen too much about it. I just wait and wait, and when the film is here, like we got the second one, I loved it. I thought it was great, um, and I'm waiting for the third one. Sorry. So yeah, I'm a little gutted that it's going to be delayed, but at the end of the day, for me it was kind of expected. So you know, it's not really affecting me that much. I'm still excited. I still can't wait. Um, if we're gonna get a great third movie, this could end up being one of the best sci-fi
Franchises of all time.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Movie franchises of all time. So if it needs that time, obviously the technology is only going to get better. I can't wait to see what it looks like as well. It's going to look phenomenal. I mean, one still holds up really, really well. It holds up better than most Marvel movies these days with the CGI. Um, and number two is phenomenal. It's photorealistic. It's real. So this third one is just going to be that and beyond. So yeah, I'm still excited, but I have to wait a bit longer.
Yeah. No, I'm super pumped as well. I thought, when I went in to go see Avatar 2, I was excited. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. I personally think Avatar 2 is better than the first one. I think it's a lot better written. And I think that's in part because it wasn't just James Cameron who wrote it. Yeah, he's a phenomenal director, but when he had a hand in writing this, it turned out for the better. So, yeah. If we need more time for these films to look better, again, I'm just going to repeat myself from the first topic. Do it. Give. It's like game development. Give us the best product you can. And Kevin Feige's always been a big proponent of the fit time into the schedules, so they can, reshoot stuff and get stuff better. Obviously, we've had a crazy couple of years with the pandemic, which threw a load of release dates off schedule. Like, Kyle, just think, if we didn't have the pandemic, we would probably be seeing the next Avengers film like next year.
We would, but we won't have Peacemaker.
We wouldn't have Peacemaker, no. So,
Mm.
um, this is it's good news. I know people are gonna take it at face value of like, oh man, this fucking sucks. But that's me a couple of years ago. I'd have looked at that and I'd have had a little whinge about it. Me 5 years ago, if I'd have seen all them MCU delays, I'd have been pissed off for a week. But all these delays now, it's always because they want to give you the better product. It's not because they don't believe in the product. Because if they didn't believe in the product, they'd just shoot it and get it out. And if they didn't even start shooting it, I doubt they'd even shoot it in the first place if they didn't believe in it. So yeah, I'm super excited for the next Avatar films. I'm gonna be, halfway to dead when the final one comes out. So yeah, Kyle, I seem to be find that we are talking a lot about Star Wars these days. Star Wars is gonna have two films release in 2026, and then one film the following year. So yeah, two brand new Star Wars movies will both release in 2026. A new release date courtesy of an update from the Disney. So this is where everything's come from. Disney have updated all their release schedules. So yeah. Two in 2026 and then one the following year. So what my question to you is, which Star Wars films, which two do you think we're getting in 2026?
Probably. I think probably the Ray one will definitely fit in there. Here's the thing. It the way I look at this is the same with the Avatar stuff. We've been hearing about these Star Wars movies. They get announced, they either get cancelled or delayed and pushed back. And it just happens over and over and over again. And as a fan, I'm a little bit tired of hearing this sort of thing come out.
Yeah.
Um, I wish they would stay with their word. Do you know what I mean? And stick with the plan. So for me personally, it still doesn't say anything. For me, it's like, well, I'm not getting a movie this year. I'm not getting it next year. There's no trailer, so until I see a trailer for a Star Wars movie, that'll make it real for me. Till then it's literally just it's invisible like the Force.
Yeah.
It's just non-existent.
But
So yeah,
you just need to believe it surrounds everything you do.
I've tried. After the Rise of Skywalker, they've really lost me. But they brought it back with the TV shows. Do you know what I mean? Like this, they've tripped up and stumbled with Boba Fett. Season 3 of Mando wasn't the strongest, but I still have faith in Disney with Star Wars again. It's just for years now, for years, Callum, we've heard, oh, we're gonna get this film about a squadron, and we're gonna get this film about that, and this film about that, and I'm like, when? Like, when? It's just, it's saying something, and then it's kind of like what they did with the Avatar films. They said they were gonna, we're gonna get like four of them, um, and it took forever and ever and ever, and one finally came out, and now they're in motion for it. For me, nothing's in motion. As soon as they bring out at least one Star Wars movie, then I'll think, right, okay, they're back in motion. They start making these Star Wars films again. We're gonna see more and more and more. Till then, I'm just waiting for a trailer.
Yeah. That's a good point. I know people have been fed up of hearing about Star Wars news and then nothing actually coming of it, from the films. I'll tell you which two I don't think will be coming out in 2026. I read an interview the other day with Taika Waititi, and he was talking about his Star Wars film. That's still happening. He says he just doesn't have... So he says he's got his story, he's got his concept, he's just trying to find the middle point of his film, seeing, how the film will actually work. So I don't think Taika Waititi is close to rolling cameras yet. James Mangold as well. I don't think is gonna be in the works for 2026. I do think the James Mangold one about the beginning of the Force and the Jedi, I do think that will be the 2027 film. But the two I think that will be releasing in 2026 is, the Rey film, because yesterday we reported some possible casting news. If they're already moving with stuff like that, then they are, probably close to maybe start rolling cameras in 2025 to get it out for 2026 or 2024 next year. And the other Star Wars film is the Mandoverse one. If anyone's got a plan for their film, it's Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. So those are the two I see coming out that year. Do you think two Star Wars films in 1 year is too much?
Listen, the Star Wars movies for me, they're not as since Disney have taken over, since the sequel trilogy came out, Star Wars in movies haven't been special for me. The only one that was special was Rogue One, I remember going to cinema to see that with you, and I thought, wow, this is phenomenal. And that ending, man, was perfect. It was just the cherry on top,
Well,
even if it didn't.
I think Star Wars still had a sense of excitement and joy. Like I remember when we was going in to see Force Awakens.
Yeah, no, no,
It
it did, but after the disappointment of Rise of Skywalker and the way they sort of handled the Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker, obviously I know the Last Jedi. It's a really good movie. I just don't think it's a good Star Wars movie per se. There's some elements in it I like. I love Kylo Ren's sort of arc through it. But that's literally all I can salvage from that film. Um, so when I say like the magic is gone, the Force Awakens had it, Rogue One had it, um, the Han Solo film. I was not interested at all.
I didn't go see
I
that in
like.
cinema.
Yeah, exactly. I went to go see that on a whim. I just thought, I'll go. I want to go cinema. I'll go see it. We had a meal and we said we'll go cinema. Um, and again, I know you liked it. I thought it was a disappointment. I thought I can't watch this. Just I didn't like it. It just you know.
I thought because I heard how like mediocre it was, the Han Solo
Yeah,
film. It I had such low expectations. I think that's why I enjoyed it a bit more.
yeah. But like I said, the magic of Star Wars movies, I think, is gone for a lot of people, me included. Um, until they say they're gonna release something that excites me, I mean, the only thing that does excite me is the Mandoverse film that they're gonna do. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to in Star Wars movies. The Rey thing, yeah, it could be cool if Idris Elba is the villain. That could bring it back. It could redeem Rey a little bit. It probably could do that for a lot of people. But again, man, the magic of the Star Wars movies, it's just not there.
Um, I now the magic of Star Wars as a franchise as a whole. I still do feel it because I know for either of these films, when that first trailer is released, I will be very excited. Before I watch it, before I click play, I know I'll be sitting there and I will be thrilled to watch it. Um, two films in 1 year. If Marvel can do it, I don't see why Star Wars couldn't. But they need to hit it. The first film needs to be strong out of the gate because you don't want to, put out your lesser film first and then have, follow it up with a really
This
good
is
one that people will go see.
yeah, this is what I'm saying is I don't. If they're gonna do it, both of them need to be strong and
Yeah,
hold on their own.
definitely.
Neither of them can be weak. They need to be strong. So if they're gonna release in the same year, that's the only thing that I can look at then is that it has to be strong. If it's not strong, what's the point? Like, just you're just releasing a weak film for the sake of it for making money. Um, and maybe they should just not. So again, it for me, like I said, it's I'm looking forward to it, but I'm waiting till I see a trailer for something that interests me.
Yeah. Now, at this point, the rumor is Kathleen Kennedy will be done with Lucasfilm after the release of Indiana Jones, Dial of Destiny. They want to get that out of the way, and then, you know, she'll be gone. Apparently, what you know, what do you see it being like under new leadership? Then, do you think these are players that have already been made by whoever's going to be taking her position? Because if these rumors are to be believed, she's going to be gone by the end of this month. And
Um,
do you think
I'm,
that's
I,
maybe Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni together who are going to be heading up
well, they need someone
Lucasfilm?
who, yeah, they need someone who knows Star Wars. I mean, you look at the sequel films and then look at the Disney Plus shows. Which feels more Star Wars to you? It's
Mando,
the
yeah,
exactly. These are, it's not a case of doing exactly what the fans want. It's something the fans expect. Do you know what I mean? With the movies, obviously, The Force Awakens I enjoyed. It hit the spot. It felt like Star Wars. It was fun. It was a good story, even though it was kind of a copy and paste of
It was a copy
New
and paste,
Hope.
but The Force Awakens was the perfect movie for that time.
Yeah. So with this, it's like all the new things they introduced in the movies, a lot of people didn't like. Now you look at the Mandalorian and you look at, Boba Fett. A lot of things they introduced in that, like the new stuff, like Grogu for example. It's like, how can you not love Grogu? But it's just it did it well. Whereas the films, they introduce Snoke as like sort of the Emperor. It was kind of like copy and paste. It was the same thing. It just was done worse. I don't know how you do that. Um, and it was the whole sort of the hero kind of thing didn't really work for me with Rey, and it was like teasing these other characters having potential, and then nothing come of it.
Yeah, Finn should have definitely
Um,
been the main character of the.
what's that?
Finn should have been the main character, I think,
Yeah.
because
Um,
they really set him up as that in the first film, and well, in all the marketing of the first film, and then as you kind of get towards the end of the first film, you see it's not his story at all; it's Rey's, which I didn't mind at the time. I liked because she was a well written character in the first film. People say Mary Sue, she's never flown in her life. Uh, Look, she worked on that ship her whole life. Luke Skywalker jumped in an X-wing who had never flown anything and blew up the Death Star. So don't come at me with that. You know what I mean?
yeah. Again, it's not to say that the films had anything that we didn't like. It was just, you know, the stuff that we did like, we got nothing of it. A prime example of that is Poe Dameron. Fucking love Poe Dameron. Such a great character, such a an awesome character. He had so much room for his story and his sort of arc. He's an X-wing pilot, so it's like it's something different. It's something different to focus on instead of like, the typical Force user. It's an X-wing pilot. Um, so yeah, you had all that, and it was just so wasted. This is the thing. I would much rather have instead of Rey coming back and doing whatever she's doing in her movie, I would much rather have a Poe Dameron film. That is something
Yes.
I would see. That was something I'd watch
But I tell you right now,
easily.
Oscar Isaac is not coming back to Star Wars at all.
No, I can imagine so, but still, the point being is they just they try too hard to work on the things that we don't like.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to make us like something we don't like. We clearly don't like it. We don't like we like Rey as a character. She's all right, but it's I liked Kylo Ren more. I liked his arc more.
Yeah.
Why not push that and beef that up a bit and make that the main thing?
Well, yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
the other thing going back to Poe Dameron as well, why he definitely won't be coming back. He was supposed to die in the first film. He told J.J. Abrams, he says, "Look, I'm not going to do it if I'm going to die. I don't really want to." He didn't really get much to do in the other films. He got promised something in the first one, and then he got let down in the subsequent films. Also, Oscar Isaac is the first MCU actor lead to sign a contract that's not a multi-picture deal. He just signed for the 6 episodes of Moon Knight, so he could see how the reception was and how and then he would decide to come back. Obviously, he's done interviews and stuff like that after Moon Knight's been out, and he has said, let's just say, the entity of Moon Knight is returning. So they're going to struggle to get him back in a multi-picture contract, so we're definitely not seeing him.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, more Star Wars. I'm excited. I think at this point, by the time these films come out, Lucasfilm's going to be under new direction. They're going to have held down directors. They're going to, make it work, because Kathleen Kennedy's biggest problem is she can't hold down a director at all. Look at Lord and Miller. You're telling me the people who did Spider-Verse, both these Spider-Verse films, made a shit Han Solo film? I don't believe it for a second. She should have just let them roll with what they were doing, but instead, obviously, what what's his name now? Howard. Ron Howard came and finished it. Bryce Dallas Howard's dad, and finished Solo. Um, but yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to wait for more details. You know, if it is the Mando film and the Rey film, I'm more excited for the Mando film. I won't lie. But if the news is true that we were reporting yesterday that Idris Elba is going to be the villain in it, that kind of bumps up my excitement for the Rey film as well. So,
I have a question.
ask.
So obviously you believe that the Rey movie is whoever's in charge now is their idea. It's not Kathleen Kennedy's.
Yeah, 100%.
That's interesting because I feel like the reason why we got that is probably because of Kathleen Kennedy. Just because of the history of how she's dealt with Star Wars. She's given us more things that we don't like.
Now,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Whereas like, obviously you know, the dudes who make obviously John Favreau and Dave Filoni, they gave us The Mandalorian, and we loved every bit of it. You know, and we are getting more of that. Don't get me wrong. It's just Kathleen Kennedy seems to do the complete opposite, and it's really weird. It's like it, you know, Han Solo didn't make money, so why give us it, kind of thing.
now, just from a business side of things, you know, Star Wars Celebration, 2 months ago now, was it? It was in April. I do not see uh, Bob Iger letting Kathleen Kennedy go on stage and announce those films when we all know that she is going to be done this year, pretty much. We all know it. You know, if that's true, then I don't see him letting her go on stage and announce those films. If she's staying, then obviously, yes, she can announce them films that it's hers to do. But I do think this is something behind the scenes, new leadership. You know, they've probably worked with Kathleen and, you know, I don't know for sure, but I'm just assuming John Favreau and Dave Filoni to get this stuff in the works. So, yeah, Bob Iger would not let her go on stage and announce that. So, yeah. Especially because of the disappointing past they've got as well of announcing films and then stuff not coming to fruition. So, yeah. What do you think? Do you think that's right, or?
I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see, because you know, like I said, I feel like a lot of people will agree with me when I say this. I'm looking forward, but I'm not excited. I'm the reason, you know, if the Mandalorian didn't come out, and these new movies are on the way, I just wouldn't even be bothered. To be honest with you, I wouldn't even be interested. It's only because of the Mandalorian and the way they've done the Disney Plus shows is the reason why I'm interested. Um, because you know, the way they've handled the films, it's not well. It's not done well. Obviously, I get it. It's a very big thing to handle, but you know, it is possible. They can do it. Just give it to the people that know what they're talking about. Um, you know, Dave Filoni loves it. John Favreau, he completely understands it. So, you know, I feel like if those guys were in charge from the get-go, Star Wars with Disney would be in a better position. I think it wouldn't have gotten. I don't think we would have gotten anything really sort of negative towards it. People wouldn't say like they do these days, "Oh, Disney ruined Star Wars." Do you know what I mean? If
Yeah.
we had someone like them from the get-go, I feel like people saying Disney ruined Star Wars, we won't hear anything like that. But
Well, I
unfortunately,
think no matter
that's not the case.
what people do, you would have heard it at some point, because people were still angry that they got rid of the old canon. Which I sent you that meme earlier, where it was like Han Solo fighting like a giant.
Yeah, no, I
otter
mean,
or
obviously
something.
there's going to be everyone. I know everyone's going to complain about something, but you know, it wouldn't get this much.
Yeah.
You know, lack of faith. Um, is quite just. You know, it's not good. Um,
Well,
as I obviously I get it as a business standpoint. I get it. but at the same time, I don't get it because it's like we got the Han Solo film, nobody asked for that, and nobody went to go see it. Well, if that film was even still good, nobody would have gone to see it.
Yeah, but Kyle, just because nobody asked for the film doesn't mean, who asked for Schindler's List? No one. Who asked for Shang-Chi? No one. It can still work, even if people didn't ask for it. Yeah, Han Solo was a character that they shouldn't have really focused on, but they shouldn't do films just because people want them. They should really get outside and explore outside of the box as well, instead of just making.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But Han Solo is not exploring outside of the
No,
box.
no, no. But like, you know what I mean? If they just made films that people wanted, then we wouldn't
It's
get
yeah,
any. You,
but
I think you know
here's
what
the
he said.
thing. I know exactly. Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's Han Solo was not something that people wanted or out of the box. It was just like why.
Yeah,
Um, a perfect example of that is Rogue One. Something completely out of the no one asked for it. It was completely out of the box, but it was great. It was it was a really cool take on the Star Wars universe. Just showing us a bit more of like a war side to it, like the war. It was like a war movie, but Star Wars. Whereas Han Solo was just, oh, he's a popular character. Let's just make him. It felt like a toy. It felt like, because how big of a character Han Solo is, they just made it for the sake of making it.
yeah,
And to be honest, that kind of bled into the Book of Boba Fett. They made the show for the sake of making the show.
yes,
And in some arguments, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, they just made it because people wanted it. And sometimes it doesn't always work out.
yeah.
Exactly. So, no, I completely agree. It's one of those ones you've just kind of got to roll with the dice. Again, my faith in Disney Star Wars is it's not 100% there. I wouldn't say I'm excited. I wouldn't say I'm going to mark it on my calendar or even think about this in any sort of form. I'm just going to wait until there's a trailer out. Then it's real for me. And then I'll see if I like it. I'll see
Oh,
if it's
it's
something
just
I
made me
want.
think that I still remember watching that first trailer for no, not the first trailer, the like the final trailer for like Force Awakens, like for a month before the film came out, and it's got the Kylo Ren line as the the Starkiller lasers going in front of him, and he's speaking to Darth Vader, and he's like, "Nothing will stand in my way. I will finish what you started." I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about how I felt at that time in my life.
Yeah. No, that's what I want. That's like
Yeah.
that's what everyone wants. It's just we're not gonna get that. Probably
Now,
not for a good while.
2026, so that's a the last film would have come out in 2019. So it's still a good bit of time between films for people to, if they haven't been watching the Disney Plus shows, maybe to, forget about what they've seen and then get ready for a new wave of Star Wars films. I think the general going audience will be up for this.
Uh, I I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not saying I'll never watch another Star Wars movie by Disney or anything like that.
Oh, yeah,
Even
because
if I hated it.
we both know we have, no matter what the two films are in 2026, we both know we will be there opening night.
Exactly, yeah. It's just like, I know you say you're excited. I don't know how you can be excited.
I'm not
I,
excited. I'm just
yeah.
looking forward to seeing
Oh, okay.
what
It's just
will.
because you said you were excited
Yeah,
before.
like excited in a way of like I'm
I'm looking forward, yeah. I'm looking forward. I've got high hopes.
yeah,
I give them all the benefit of the doubt, but still, I'm not gonna be excited. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, I can't wait. It's gonna be,
yeah.
And
This
the only thing that I'm excited for is the Mandoverse movie.
yeah. Well, this I just want to bring two topics together here before we move on to the next one. Obviously, Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, all the same thing. Um, with all this news, especially with Avatar as well, it's really it's put a little bit of faith back into me with the company of, look, they're not just trying to shit stuff out now. If they, that's 3 years away, 2026. If they've worked it out and it's like the best way for them is like, oh yeah, we could do 2 films in this year, then fair enough. Same with Marvel, really stretching out that slate now instead of ramming it all into, where it would have been 2026 when it was over. Now it's running into 2027, and it's just nicely to spread things out a bit more. So overall, obviously Bob Iger being back at Disney, I feel like a lot of the stuff we've seen as of late has been, minus the Star Wars stuff because this was before Bob Chapek, but a lot of the stuff, especially in Marvel, that we've seen as of late, is Bob Chapek stuff because he put people like his friends in like positions of power over the creatives and stuff like that. So as of right now, I think Disney's got a bright future, and I feel like things are going to start to get back on track. But yeah, it's been a full Disney day, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously we talked a little bit earlier about Deadpool 3 is going to be coming out 6 months earlier, which both super excited for. One of our favourite people, Zazie Beetz, she's done an interview and she says she's not in Deadpool 3. What do you think to this? Do you think she's playing a bit of an Andrew Garfield, or do you genuinely think she's not in it?
I don't see the reason why she'd do an Andrew Garfield. She probably just doesn't have a story in this one. Obviously we've got Hugh Jackman in this. I will say I am disappointed if she isn't. But if she says she isn't, I believe her she isn't.
Yeah,
there's no re.
Yeah, I'm not in the camp of don't believe any actor now when they say they're not in a film, because look at Ryan Reynolds, who were telling people for months, I'm not in Doctor Strange 2. And everyone was like, you're a sneaky, sneaky boy, we know you're in Doctor Strange 2. And he wasn't in it, and people were disappointed because they built up these expectations for themselves.
Yeah. So with that, I like Zazie Beetz' character in Deadpool 2. It would have been cool to see her return, but if she were gonna be in it, she'd probably have a small part in it. Obviously, the movie front stage is gonna be Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool and Hugh Jackman, and who knows what they do with the film. How it ties into the MCU and things. Maybe an MCU character jumps in.
I think.
I don't want them to ram pack the film for the sake of having these characters there just so they're there.
Yeah.
So I'll say this: I'm like, oh well, that's a shame. But I'm still excited for the film.
For me, Deadpool 3. It's going to be a multiverse film, we think, because there's the rumour that Owen Wilson's going to be in it as Mobius. I do think Deadpool will end up in the main timeline MCU at the end of the film. But as of Zazie Beetz, she is one of my favourite actresses right now. She's great in Deadpool 2. She's great in Joker. And we said it the other day when we was talking about Donald Glover being the Prowler. If you haven't seen Atlanta, go watch Atlanta, because she's amazing in this. She's fantastic. I don't think she'd lie about it, and I think if she was going to be in it, I think we would have heard by now, because we've heard that Rob Delaney, the guy who plays Peter, the guy with no powers, we've heard that he's going to be back. We've heard that Brianna Hildebrug, who plays Negasonic Teenage Warhead, we know she's going to be back. Her girlfriend's going to be back. We know the guy who plays Colossus is going to be back. We know Dove Panda's going to be back, the taxi driver. So obviously that leaves 2 names who we haven't heard anything from. Zazie Beetz as Domino, and I'll ask you this one as well. I'll chuck this in with a question. Cable? I see Cable having a story in Deadpool 3. What about you? What do you think?
I don't see Cable having a story.
Not even because Deadpool's got his time thing?
I think it'll be, if anything, he'll have a small effect on the story, kind of like how Doctor Strange was in Spider-Man. He's in the film, but he's not in like heavily in the film.
Why don't we say Doctor Strange in Ragnarok?
Yes, yeah.
More like, yeah.
Actually, no, because that's very small. I'd say it's in between that and No Way Home. Let's say he's in it as much as Doctor Strange was in No Way Home, but without that fight scene, um, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'd be cool to see Deadpool versus Cable like a full-on rematch. But
Yeah.
yeah, no. So I don't know, man. Maybe.
I'll just say this now. If these two people are in the film, I'm going to be a little bit upset and a little bit disappointed. But if it was the choice between having Hugh Jackman in the film or Zazie Beetz and Josh Brolin, I'm sorry, guys, but you two move aside. We want to see Deadpool versus Wolverine. Deadpool with Wolverine. Deadpool doing anything Wolverine. I want to see Deadpool and Wolverine sitting down in a bar, having a drink, and Deadpool trying to, just prod him to piss him off or something like that. So, if this is the sacrifice we've got to make, then I'm up for it. So, yeah. Maybe, do you see them maybe having a future in the MCU after Deadpool 3's out of the way? What about a film like Secret Wars, where the rumour is anyone who's had anything ever to do with Marvel will be in that film?
I definitely think that it's they're still Deadpool's going to be in the MCU after this movie. We may even get like a Deadpool 4. So you know, it just depends really, because the Deadpool in itself, it's kind of its own sort of mini universe
Yeah.
of all its characters. Even though we've had two movies, I feel like there's a universe there. Um, and with the X-Men films as well that they're going to do, or maybe an X-Men TV show, we don't know what they're going to do yet. But with the X-Men stuff, I feel like he could show up in that. Maybe in this film, it's his final Deadpool run, as as a standalone movie. But maybe he just kind of pops into different MCU projects now and then,
So,
as
Kyle,
as Deadpool does.
you're telling me you don't want to see Deadpool 4 Love and Cancer?
Um, I mean, I'd be up for it. It's just, will they do it? Because
Oh, that's the right title.
that is a very good title.
Sorry, I'm just too good. I'm going to write that one down. I'm going to charge Disney for that. I don't think they'd want to run that as a title.
Yeah, I don't think it. I mean, it probably took them a lot to even make the movie R-rated, so
Yeah.
I won't push it. But yeah, they will. Some characters will have a future in the MCU. There, obviously, it's money for the sake of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, the actors are getting paid for it. The writers can write them in quite easily. It's like a side character in a
Yeah.
story or something. So yeah.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, if they're not in it, fair enough. We'll get Wolverine, and I trust in Ryan Reynolds. This film has been written, ages ago with the original writers for the first two Deadpool films. I know they got brought back on board. So I have full faith in this. And, Ryan Reynolds has been collaborating a lot with Sean Levy, the director. Obviously, he did Free Guy and an unexpected, pretty decent film on Netflix last year, which was The Adam Project. Have you seen that, Kyle?
Yeah, no, I saw it.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the trailers for it, and I was just kind of interested. It didn't strike me as one of those like, oh, it's Ryan Reynolds, isn't it cool? It genuinely looked like just a nice little movie, and it was a nice little surprise. It kind of came out of nowhere for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up today. It's been a lot of, don't want to say negative news, but, maybe some people didn't want to hear some of the stuff today, like all these delays. But, I'm sorry, everyone. I feel like it's my fault because at the beginning of the day, I was like, God, I wish I had some more news here, because the only thing I had planned up until about 5 o'clock when I got home was Zazie Beet's story. And I feel like I've just delayed the entire MCU for everyone. So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's not the news I wanted, but we got some. Obviously, no news video tomorrow. If Kyle's got time now, I think we're going to go jump in and maybe record like a quick, 20-minute, half an hour final flash predictions before we go in and see the film tomorrow. So no news tomorrow. Definitely news on Thursday. Definitely news on Friday. And we're gonna try to get maybe another gaming video out for you. Maybe some gameplay. Don't know. If Kyle's up for that, don't know what we'd play like. Maybe Mario Party. None of us have a Nintendo. But
We
maybe.
need like a co-op game. There just needs to be a co-op game that's just fun to jump on and play.
Yes.
I don't feel like there's really anything out there at the moment.
Anyway, I've been Callum. That's not Kyle. That's Spider-Man. Like, subscribe, share, show us to your mother. Let us know what you think in the comments. Are you happy about the delays? Are you not happy about the delays? Do you want to see Zazie Beetz and Josh Brolin return in Deadpool? Do you want to see new Star Wars films, or are you done with Star Wars? And I usually end these videos swearing, but I'm not going to do that today because I'm a very well-behaved boy. Anything you want to say, Kyle, before we go?
Fuck you.
Well, Kyle said it. Fuck you too.